So we've got a bunch of cold water that we have to go out there and start spreading. Because over the past few days, we have seen ample trade conversation in regards to the Edmonton Oilers and one Stu Skinner. Now, I have had my fair share of commentary topics on Skinner over the past few years. It's been an up and down career for this guy with the Edmonton Oilers. He started out hot, he got to the top of the mountain, faltered twice, made the Stanley Cup Finals, unfortunately was worse the second go-around versus the first time. And now, Stu Skinner is sitting at a whopping .888 save percentage in 20 games played this year. 290 goals against, 2 shutouts on the year too, which is incredible considering the fact that he's got 9 wins. And because his goaltending is inconsistent at best and absolute bottom-of-the-league territory at worst, you have yourselves all the rumors in the world surrounding Skinner. And honestly, I'm going to go out there and say that he's actually been playing pretty well as of late. December 2nd against the Minnesota Wild, 1-0 loss to Jesper Wallstedt, .958 save percentage over there. Then the previous game, he had a shutout, 26 saves against Seattle. So I'd say that really these 2 games have done a lot of heavy lifting for Skinner's save percentage and goals against as of late. If you remove these 2 previous games, the numbers look a lot worse on the season. But we had ourselves a bunch of clips going around, a bunch of conversations, like this posted about by Kane is the GOAT. I wonder which player happens to be their favorite to suit up for Edmonton the past few years. This was from yesterday. It's the end of the Connor McDavid show against the... oh boy, who was it? They played off against somebody and they totally destroyed them. It was the Kraken. Yeah, okay. It was the Kraken again. Connor McDavid had 4 points on the night. Absolute bananas territory. Nice to see the hat trick for Connor Mack. But against the Kraken, Cal Pickard was in net, and you saw Stu Skinner go out there in the celebration and hug his backup goaltender like there's no tomorrow. This is like an emotional time. This is 2012 movie territory level affection. And this comment from Kane is the GOAT says, does this look like a farewell hug to anyone else? It's possible Skinner and Pickard knew a trade was imminent prior to the game. It might also be why Pickard started. And that's kind of a dramatic way to interpret this nice moment between 2 goaltenders, but the reason it was even talked about is because of this tweet that was posted by the Two Mutts Hockey Podcast earlier yesterday as well. We are hearing that Tristan Jarry is being traded to the Oilers and the Penguins will retain 50% of his salary. Working on more info on the full trade. And the idea, of course, is that Jarry would be going over to Edmonton and that Stuart Skinner would be going over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the idea was pretty straightforward. You know, a lot of folks were talking about Tristan Jarry and Skinner trade talk already for the past few weeks. But to see Two Mutts go out there and straight up say it on Twitter that, yeah, it's happening, guys. We are hearing that this will go down. It did get a lot of people going out there and, replying. Now, take a look at this, eh? When your imaginary friend gets you more info, let me know. So a lot of people were kind of downplaying this straight up off the bat, and I think that it was immediately censored up when Ryan Rishaug went out there and tweeted this in the morning today. Happy Saturday morning, all. Drive safe out there on these roads. No goaltending deals done for the Oilers despite some wild speculation otherwise. Things can always change, but that's the state of it as of Friday night/Saturday morning. So TSN literally going out there and shutting down what it was that the Two Mutts Hockey Podcast went out there and said, oh yeah, Jarry's going to be traded. This is going to happen. 50% salary retained. This had 1 million views yesterday. Only for Rishaug to say, yeah, no, sorry, that's not happening. At least for now, that's not the status as to how things are. And it's quite a shame, really, because Tristan Jarry, as we had mentioned, he's actually had such a good season this year. Take a look at this. It's been a great start to the year for Jarry. Wins in 9 of 11 starts, 2.61 goals against, 913 save percentage, which is 8th in the NHL for goaltenders with a minimum of 10 games played. Jarry playing off against teams that currently occupy a playoff spot. He's gone 4-1-0 with a 923 save percentage. Make no mistake about it, folks, Tristan Jarry is good this year. 913 on the entire season. He actually just came back from injury the past few days here, and he's gone out there with a 4-1 record since. He has been lights out. Sure, this game doesn't look great. 769 save percentage with 13 shots against, but other than that, he's been stellar. 925 against Tampa, 966 against Philadelphia. Tristan Jarry has been miles better ahead of what Stuart Skinner has provided the Oilers in net this year. But it does seem like those trade talks will die down for the next few hours at the very least. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see if somebody goes out there and starts speculating and adding more fuel to the fire trade talk-wise a little bit later. But I wanted to shift gears a little bit in this video as well, not just talk about the Stuart Skinner, Tristan Jarry trade situation, but also go over a kind of parallel hockey type of move. I wanted to talk about offer sheets, because obviously when you think about that and the Edmonton Oilers, there are two names that immediately stand out as Oilers offer sheet transactions. You've got Dylan Holloway of the St. Louis Blues, and you've got Philip Broberg of the St. Louis Blues. Two guys that, by all accounts, the Oilers did not want to give up on, but they ended up inevitably doing so because the Blues were able to step in and offer them contracts that were just a tad higher than what the Oilers were comfortable in doing. And we had ourselves an article posted on the Edmonton Journal by David Staples that dives into what the newest Edmonton Oilers rookie situation looks like and whether or not this could be possible in the offer sheet realm as well. Mark my words, David Staples' title reads, the Oilers will sign their top rookie to a new deal, insider pledges, and not lose him, like Broberg and Holloway. Scrolling down, you could easily see today we're talking about Matthew Savoie. This is in from Edmonton Oilers insider Bob Stouffer during Edmonton's broadcast against the Kraken. His assurance that the Oilers won't lose Savoie to an offer sheet, and they will sign him to a new contract. Here's the reality with Matt Savoie. The Oilers will not make the same mistake with Savoie that they made with Broberg and Holloway. Savoie will be bridged. He's represented by Edmonton's Gary Johansson. Stan Bowman will get ahead of this. Mark my words. They will get a deal done on an extension at some point here with Matt. They developed him the right way. Full season down in the minors, he killed penalties for Keith Gretzky, and that's how he got the shorthanded goal. He can do more things than just play in a top six and score. If worse comes to worse, he can play as a third-line winger. He's a very useful player with high upside. So, pretty positive news, I would say, for those that are optimistic on Matthew Savoie and his future in the National Hockey League. Obviously, this is a guy that had a much higher touted profile as a prospect back in 2022. He was supposed to be a top 3 guy, but inevitably slipped down to 9th overall in that draft season. And this year with the Oilers, he's got himself 9 points in 28 games. Not bad. Pretty useful, pretty versatile, and his contract expires in 2027, so there is time to get him signed to a bridge deal. And ultimately, if the Oilers want to make sure they don't go down the same offer sheet path again, like they did with Holloway and Broberg, signing Savoie would be the most appropriate move, wouldn't it be? So with that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this offer sheet update in regards to Matthew Savoie and the trade news surrounding Stu Skinner and Tristan Jarry. What are your thoughts about how these affect the future plans of the Oilers, and do you think there is a Jarry trade that will inevitably come to pass? Let me know in the comment section all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. Roll 9, and bye.